Let's go! Come on! The Drake Toll Show. Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app. Drake Toll with you. January 29th, a Thursday, the year of our Lord 2026. And the Cleveland Browns have their 122nd head coach in franchise history. Good morning. Hello. It's you and it's me, and it's the opportunity for us to do this together. You're going to work. I get it. You're going to work right now and you're thinking to yourself, I've got to go to work. It is 5:01 and 26 seconds in Dallas, Texas, and you're driving to work. Or you know what? Maybe you're bettering yourself and you're going to the gym. You're listening, turn the fan on in Rochester, and you're listening to the fan. You're going to the gym today at 6 in the morning because you want to work out. You want to be healthy. It was your New Year's resolution. You did dry January. You're feeling a lot better, and you're 29 days into going to the gym, and you already notice a difference. Good for you. What's better for you is that while you do that, the Drake Toll Show is on. Or maybe you're somewhere off the West Coast. Maybe you decided, you know what? I'm going to go out in Portland this morning at 3 in the morning, go for a stroll. Take the old dog for a walk. It's frigid, but who cares? And you know what? When I make that stroll, I've downloaded the Westwood One Sports app. I'm listening to the Drake Toll Show on Westwood One Sports. That's what this is. That's what you and I get to do every day with Addie Bates in Washington, D.C. producing, Curtis Poindexter in Culver City / Santa Monica / Los Angeles running the board. We get to make magic every morning together. That's the point of this. That's the point of my existence right now, is for you and I for 3 hours to talk about sports, and more than anything, to talk about the Cleveland Browns. This is the day. This is like the one day on earth that we get to talk about the Cleveland Browns for a good portion of 3 hours and laugh and laugh. You know, Thursday's my favorite day of the week. Monday has this newness to it that it can't be my least favorite. There's something about sitting down Monday and knowing what you need to get done, knowing there is an objective. Tuesday, easily worst day of the week. Why? The newness of Monday is gone. You're buried in Tuesday. I've got a lot of meetings on Tuesdays as well for all three of my jobs. The Savannah Bananas, Locked On Big 12. Tuesday, you're bogged down. By Wednesday, it's the halfway point, second worst day of the week. Wednesday's got this, if I get through it, it's okay, but that's the problem, is I have to get through it. But you know what the best day of the week is? It's not Saturday. It's not Friday. It's not Sunday. Those are built to be good. Friday is built to tickle your tummy. Because all day, all you have to think about is, oh, it's Friday. Touch yourself. Friday's a good thing. Or it's Saturday, and I get to sleep in a little bit tomorrow. Maybe I'm going to church on Sunday, going to temple on Sunday. But right now, I get to sleep in a little bit. There is something built in that's good about that. But Thursday's the best. Thursday's the day that I go down to the bar, and they flip a quarter for my drinks. Or I can go to the bar, I can get 4 or 5 beers, not drive home. I'm not going to pull Mike Gundy. I have 4 or 5 beers, and they flip a quarter. And if I call tails and it lands on tails, guess what? I don't have to pay for my tab. But if I call heads and it lands on tails, I certainly do. That's the point of Thursdays at the Quarter Bar. Or Thursdays, the night in Waco, Texas, where the Backyard Bar Stage and Grill has $3 wells, $2 beers. This archaic thing that still exists in some little watering holes across our great country. There's something about Thursday. the eve of Friday that feels right. And today, you and I are doing it together. But first, Addie Bates, producer of the Drake Toll Show, Washington, D.C. zone, our nation's capital. My country, 'tis of thee. How was trivia last night?
That's really pretty.
Thank you. How was trivia?
We didn't win. We tried our best.
Yep.
Yeah, we tried our best. We'll do better. We did not do well.
Oh.
Yeah.
Can you give me an example of an question that really stumped you?
No, because then it's going to make my group seem like we're stupid. You know what? Sure.
All right.
What's the current... Yeah, you know, like
Head
the
coach
eras,
of the Cleveland
like
Browns?
Mesozoic. You know, like Mesozoic era and stuff like that.
I
Yes.
do know. Paleolithic, Mesozoic. Yeah, I know those eras, yeah.
Yeah, which one are we in right now?
Oh, I'm in it as we speak. I'm doing it right now actively.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, no. We're in the monolithic era. Come on, say it's correct.
Maybe, I don't know.
Oh, you don't even know?
I don't remember.
Of course you wouldn't know, because you didn't get it right.
Drake, that was round 3. That was round 3 of trivia. That's round 4. I was, having a good time at
By
that
then,
point.
you'd
I don't remember that round.
taking shots for your team.
You
Front.
need to take, shots from the front and the back, whatever it is.
Addie did say...
I would like to say that we were the only team who got one of these music questions correct.
Okay, do you at least
So- and that was
remember the
'cause
music question?
Music.
Yeah, so, it was, they play the lyrics, and you have to guess the artist, the name of the song, and fill in the blank. And so the song was Midnight Train to Georgia
Nice.
by
Apropos.
Gladys Knight and the Pips.
Gladys Knight? Really?
Yeah, and no one else got it right.
Oh.
You know what? I even tried to get the trivia host to give us some, clues.
You did say
Just
the
pretty
trivia
much.
host is hot, right?
He wasn't until he got his ears pierced.
Oh. Yep. Did he get tattoos
And now
too?
it's just like, wow, yeah. I don't know. He was in his homeless fit last night of sweats and a sweatshirt. Yeah,
Which there
sweatpants and a
is-
sweatshirt.
Nothing wrong with being homeless. We get it. We are pro-homeless on this show.
No. No, not at all. No, yeah, you're pro. We are pro-homeless.
You're pro-homeless?
As Drake is in his electric shed.
We stand with the homeless in my electric shed. Best of luck to you in securing the heart and the mind of the trivia host every Wednesday at your Washington, D.C. based trivia place. Congrats on not winning.
Thank you.
Maybe
Yeah.
next time. Moment of the I'm just delaying the Cleveland Browns at this point. Moment of the day yesterday. Gary Patterson, friend of the show, was introduced as the USC defensive coordinator.
Kirch?
Congrats to Kirch Patterson and his Hall of Fame career that has now taken him to Los Angeles. Addie, my favorite quote from him yesterday is, I can talk to kids a little different now than I could 25 years ago. Because as they say nowadays, I have a little bit better riz. Yeah.
Oh, I don't like that.
Addie, do you want to guess who taught him the word riz?
Drake.
Never did I think I would have a bearing on the USC defensive coordinator's personal dictionary. Oh, but I do.
Yeah, but now he's talking about how he can talk with little kids.
Yeah.
Or kids.
Well, I mean,
because he has Riz.
College-age kids.
Drake.
Because he's like, I got riz now. I can talk to the kids. I'm like, I'm not sure if that's... I tried to teach him what it means. I think he's overusing it a little bit. He's an old guy, mid-60s. You teach him a word, and he's like, oh, I'm going to use that. You know
Can
who
you teach
else?
him Glizzy next?
I will, yes. I will teach
Glizzy.
the USC athletic director,
Glizzy.
defensive coordinator, the word glizzy, so that he can have that right next to Riz.
Fight on.
Fight on. Thank you, Kirch. Oh. Addie, literally anything else at all ever that you'd like to talk about before we get to the Cleveland Browns?
Yeah. Last night, the bar that I went to afterwards, bro, duck game, I got 2 ducks. 2 ducks in the claw machine.
Hold
2
on.
ducks.
What is the duck game?
Oh my goodness. So it's a little known fact amongst my friends that Addie, sometimes if she maybe drinks a little bit too much, there's a duck claw machine at this one bar, and I have to play it. And so in my home right now, I have like 100 rubber ducks because of how much I win on this game.
You know,
Last
Addie,
night, oh yeah, baby.
in some cultures, they would call that a problem.
Nah.
Yeah.
But what? Winners win? Come on now.
Good for you winning the duck game and having an innumerable amount of drinks at trivia night last night. I did not know there was a bar post-trivia. This is a crazy night, and then you're awake at 5 o'clock
Yeah.
to do the 6 a.m. to 9 a.m.
Yeah.
Nice Drake Toll show. Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app. Well, there it is, folks. That's time. Well, it's been a fun show. A lot of really good stuff there, Addie. Thanks, Curtis. Everybody head back to sleep, and we're just going to replay You Better You Bet from Nick Costos yesterday for the rest of the
Here we go again.
time we have on the air, or being told, that we got to do it. The Cleveland Browns have officially made their head coaching hire. Who is next? Todd Monken. Curtis, can I get a breaking news here, please, actually? Wow, per Adam Schefter, the Cleveland Browns are firing Todd Monken. He is no longer the head coach of the franchise. Oh, sorry. That's a headline from 2027. I just want to get ahead of the game here, guys. I just want to be very clear. Let's just go ahead and clip that soundbite. Hold that in our back pocket for December 16th of 2027. When Adam Schefter will inevitably report that Todd Monken has been fired as the head coach of the Cleveland Browns. We hired a guy to fire a guy. We hired a guy knowing this probably isn't going to work out. By the way, do you remember? I'm old enough to remember. About 4 weeks ago, John Harbaugh is the head coach of the Ravens. They lose on a missed field goal to the Steelers. And one of the prevalent reasons a lot of sources said Harbaugh was ultimately fired is because he would not fire Todd Monken. The Browns just hired the guy that got a guy fired because he wouldn't fire the guy. And the guy at the root of the whole issue got hired by the Cleveland Browns. They brought an end to their month-long search. Their 19th full-time coach, 11th since 1999, 11th coach since 1999, by hiring Monken. The 60-year-old, he turns 60 next Thursday. I'm counting it as 60. 60-year-old in his first opportunity as a head coach. 3 decades. Spent time in college football, the old Georgia Bulldogs. Spent time in the National Football League, no doubt. And he goes to Cleveland, where they have not reached the postseason since, been so long. 2023! And that's not a long drought at all. If you're Cleveland, if you're the Browns, and you wanted to fire Kevin Stefanski, if I'm anybody who wants to be ticked off in this whole thing, it's probably not, Browns fans are used to this at this point. John Fanta is somewhere banging his head against the wall. He's probably somewhere on one of our shows. Probably somewhere at this network banging his head against the wall. We should have John Fanta on once an hour, all 3 hours, just the Drake Toll show. That's my goal later this year. Probably banging his head against the wall. Because he's a Browns fan. And this is what the Browns do. Listen to this. You ready for the list of schools, organizations that Monken has coached for? This is crazy. Grand Valley State, Notre Dame, Eastern Michigan, Louisiana Tech, Oklahoma State, LSU, Jacksonville Jaguars, Oklahoma State, Southern Miss, Tampa Bay, Cleveland, Georgia, Baltimore, Cleveland. I'm in everywhere, man. I'm in Alabama, Reno, Arkansas. You know the song. Monken went everywhere just to find his final landing spot, his final destination, the head coach of the Cleveland Browns. A place he returns to after being the offensive coordinator in Cleveland in 2019. So he's been there. He's done that. He's been around the block a little bit in Cleveland and wanted to go back. Again, if I'm John Harbaugh, what the hell, man? Like, I kind of got fired because I wouldn't fire you. I had loyalty to you. And of all of the things that you could possibly do to respond to that, going to coach the Cleveland Browns is not one I necessarily had in mind. Not how I thought you would honor the loyalty that I gave you in Baltimore. This is a dead man walking. And you know what? Not even exactly because it is Monken. This is a dead man walking because it's the Cleveland Browns. And they do nothing but fail. That's just kind of how it goes. It's just kind of what they do. So you know what? Guess what? I'm rooting for you. Yeah, I said it. I'm rooting for you. The guy whose lone year in Cleveland, he went 6-10 and decides, I'm going to go back and be the head coach of the organization. This is like rooting for a really sick dog. That's a Cleveland reference because they, dog pound. That's Cleveland. Rooting for a really sick dog. It's like when you go to the shelter. I have friends that do this. Saintly people. You go to the shelter and you get the dog that's going to die in 2 weeks, so you can give it 2 weeks of a really good life. Congrats, Todd Monken. Enjoy your 2 weeks of a really good life. Because the money's great. So congrats on that. Rooting for you. Coming up, Bill Belichick, held out of the Hall of Fame. Tom Brady sounds off on this. Not good, folks. And of course, plenty more to go on Todd Monken to the Cleveland Browns. This is Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app. This is the Drake Toll Show.
Coming your way. Minnesota invades San Francisco Bay. We gotta get ready. We gotta get right. The Vikings and Niners get it on tonight. So get ready. I mean, get ready. Are you ready for some football? A Monday night party. We got Frank and Al and Dan. They're gonna get it kick-started. The crowd is psyched, cause all my rowdy friends are back for Monday night. Don't let the stars get in your eyes. Don't let the moon break your heart. Love blooms at night. In daylight it dies. Don't let the stars get in your eyes. You'll keep your heart from me, for someday I'll return, and you know you're the only one I'll ever love. Too many nights. Too many nights. Too many stars.
change your mind.
Don't let the moon change your mind.
If I'm gone too long, don't forget where you belong. When the stars come out, remember you are mine. Don't let the stars get in your eyes. Don't let the moon break your heart. Love blooms at night. In daylight it dies. Don't let the stars get in your eyes. Oh, keep your heart from me, for someday I'll return, and you know you're the only one I'll ever love.
Don't let the stars get in your eyes. Don't let the moon break your heart. Papaya. Papaya.
Too many miles.
Too many miles.
Too many days.
Too many days.
Too many nights to be alone.
Too many nights all alone.
Oh, please keep your heart while we are apart. Don't you linger in the moonlight when I'm gone.
While I'm gone.
Don't let the stars get in your eyes. Don't let the moon break your heart.
Don't let the moon break your heart.
Love blooms at night. In daylight it dies. Don't let the stars get in your eyes. Oh, keep your heart from me, for someday I'll return, and you know you're the only one I'll ever love.
I'll ever love.
I'll ever love. You're the only one.
The only one I'll ever love.
Hello. Good day, friends. The Drake Toll Show, Westwood
Hello,
One
Jim.
Sports. The Westwood One Sports app. Drake Toll with you from the Savannah Bananas organization, Locked On Big 12. Amazon Fire TV's college football kickoff. You know, one time I wrote for Sports Illustrated, like for a while, actually. And then I realized that it wasn't really Sports Illustrated. You know, I worked a Savannah Bananas game, twice, actually. I've done this a couple times in my career now, in Miami at the home of the Marlins. And there, they had this really cool wall, which still kind of perturbed that Pudge Rodriguez, his World Series win came with the Marlins. Sad. Uh-oh, Addie's getting excited. She heard baseball. She's getting excited. Yeah.
Of course. Come on, greatest. Curtis.
Touch yourself.
I mean, yeah, it's baseball.
Addie's pumped. She heard baseball. She's pumped on January 29th. The Marlins facility, which Lone Depot, I think is the name of it now. Lone Depot. They have this.
Yeah, and
It's a what, huh?
it's a unique facility. Unique.
Yeah, it used to be better when they had the dolphin thing inside. The little dolphin carousel where the sun and the water would move around, but then Derek Jeter didn't like that. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Yeah. That was it's like one of the best pieces of an MLB stadium was that little contraption in the outfield that you could hit with home runs. Giancarlo Stanton. But then they said, we're just going to take that out and put it we'll put it outside. Derek thinks it's a eyesore. Been in there a couple times. And they have this wall in the press box of times where Miami Marlins players have been on the cover of Sports Illustrated, which has happened, 10 times. And this was back when, remember when you were a kid? Remember when you were young? Remember 10 years ago when Sports Illustrated was still Sports Illustrated? And you're like, yeah, man. You'd find the magazine at the dentist office. And they'd have Gonzaga on the... No, this isn't even history. This isn't even history. They'd have Gonzaga
Waiting to see how long it took to notice.
Yeah.
When he started with, do you remember when you were a kid?
Magazines.
10 years ago. And yeah, okay, magazines aren't that dead. This isn't this archaic of a conversation, though maybe it is.
Are we killing them?
I personally, yes, we could obituary magazines and newspapers. That did happen this week. I think Baltimore, maybe. The Sun Globe thing was killed. Addie, you know what I'm talking about at all?
I also know that the Washington Post is like not sending beat reporters to like.
Maybe that's what it is. Maybe that's what it
Mad
is.
stuff
The
in it.
Washington
Yeah.
Post is scaling back, and everyone's flipping out over it. It's like, I don't know, man. If you are that person, oh, man, I'm really getting off there now. If you are that person who's like, oh, I love the newspaper, don't kill the newspaper. Like, yeah. But I hope if you're going to say that you are actually reading and buying the newspaper, that you're paying money for the newspaper. Otherwise, if you're saying that without doing so, you are part of the paper's demise. Oh, I love the newspaper. I want it to stay forever. If you think that and have not read the newspaper in 3 years or purchased a newspaper in 6 months, then you can't, I don't think you have the right to think that. Like, I actively want radio to not die. I want sports radio to live. I want us to all come together and fix what is wrong with national radio, what is wrong with national TV as it pertains to sports. I don't think Ryan Clark should be the head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers, and I don't think that I should come on a national program and tell you that. So I get wanting the old mediums to stay alive. I understand wanting the newspaper to stay alive because it's cool and retro. But if you're not buying the newspaper, then I don't think we can have that opinion or that passionate feeling toward it. Like, oh, I hope it doesn't die. I'm not gonna do anything myself to help, but I hope it doesn't die. That's silly. So Sports Illustrated, its demise, as I have not seen a Sports Illustrated magazine at the dentist office in the last 10 years, and I go to the dentist once every little bit. Yes, Addie?
Don't you also go to a children's dentist still?
I may or may not go to the pediatric dentist, and usually it's because I miss the glory days of Sports Illustrated Kids, where they'd have like,
You get a lollipop after?
no, that's
He just wants
antithetical
to be
the
with the
dentist,
kids. He wants to
Curtis.
hang out with the kids.
I have
He wants
Riz.
to be around all those kids.
I have Riz, okay? But you could open the Sports Illustrated Kids, and they'd have that one section in the middle where the paper's unfolded, and it'd be the size of Dirk Nowitzki.
And it was the swimsuit edition.
And it was the kids' swimsuit edition. No, don't like that at all. At all.
I did not say kids. I did not say kids. You said that.
So then when I was in college, I got a call. Guy says, hi, I'm Matt with Sports Illustrated. I was like, I'm in. I'm that guy. 20 years old.
That easy.
Working for Sports Illustrated. Come to find out, there are a lot of Sports Illustrateds out there now. And then within 6 months of my time after leaving Sports Illustrated, they were busted for writing AI articles, which I think they may still be doing, by the way, because they went under, bankrupt, something, and they might still be doing AI articles. I have not heard anything from them in a long time, which is sad, because that was such a pillar. I'm going to have a papusa, a child, at some point in my life. Not anytime soon. Not for a bit. And that young man or young woman will never know about Sports Illustrated and what it was like to read the cover, what it was like to see your team, to see Darren McFadden of the Arkansas Razorbacks on the cover, to see Mariano Rivera, to see Kurt Suzuki on the cover of Sports Illustrated and think, yeah, Kurt, yeah, that's awesome. That's dead. And sad things like that are dying today. What's my son going to think? Like, oh, Dad, look. Wemby's on the cover of Bleacher Report. Is that what it's going to be? Dad, come here. LeBron's grandson is on the front of Rivals. Oh, okay. Come here, Dad. Messi's grandkid is on the cover of On 3. But they're not, physical magazines. They're just the iPad that he has. That's a sad realization. And that's coming from somebody who worked for Sports Illustrated, or at least I thought I did. Turns out they bought a bunch of fan website things, and I was just writing for a syndicate of SI. So if your buddy's like, hey man, I'm writing for Sports Illustrated. I'm employed by Sports Illustrated. Check him, and then wreck him, because there's a good chance it's just that interesting, weird fan thing. I was today years old on the Drake Toll show. Drake Toll with you. Addie Bates, Curtis Poindexter help run the show. Today years old when I heard the audio this morning from Tom Brady on Bill Belichick being left off the ballot. He will not be a first ballot Hall of Famer. This is bad. And here's what Tom Brady had to say when he sounded off on the incident.
Tom, how did you react yesterday or this morning? You heard that Bill was not selected to be in the Hall of Fame in his first shot.
You know, I just think that, to me, I don't understand it. I mean, I was with them every day. If he's not a first ballot Hall of Famer, there's really no coach that should ever be a first ballot Hall of Famer, which is completely ridiculous because people deserve it. And he's incredible. There's no coach I'd ever want to play for. I'd rather play for. If I'm picking one coach to go out there to win a Super Bowl, give me one season, I'm taking Bill Belichick. So that's enough said. There's nothing outside of that. You know, again, when it comes down to votes and, you know, popularity and all that, like, you know, then welcome to the world of voting, and you may as well go, you know, try out for the Oscars or whatever, and, you know, get a big panel to tell you if you're
30.
So it's the way it works. And that, unfortunately, you know, he's going to get into the Hall of Fame. In the end, I'm not worried about that. You know, and a lot of times in life, you know, for all of us, you know, things don't happen exactly how you want them or on your timeline, but we'll all be there to celebrate him when it does happen. And he's going to have a huge turnout from so many players, coaches that appreciated everything that commitment that he made to winning and the impact that he had on all our lives. And that'll be a great celebration when it happens.
Is it weird to anybody else? It should be weird to you, by the way. I'm going to tell you that you should find this weird. You should feel this way. You should feel like it's odd. That the greatest quarterback of all time, bar none, the greatest quarterback to ever play our game, to be in this sport, is saying that if he needed one head coach, if he needed one guy to win a Super Bowl with an organization, one guy, 1 year, win it all, it'd be Bill Belichick. And that guy has been relegated to the doldrums of college football, where he's going 4-8 with a 24, 25-year-old girlfriend who is his publicist and will tell him when to speak and when not to speak. That guy, who has been held out of the Hall of Fame ballot and will not have an opportunity to be a first ballot Hall of Famer. Anybody find it weird that the GOAT, we say GOAT all the time, oh, this guy's the GOAT. Kids especially love to say it. That the greatest quarterback to ever play the game says that the greatest coach to ever coach the game, the greatest to ever put his team in a position to win the Super Bowl, is Bill Belichick, and that guy does not have a job in the National Football League and is not getting calls from the National Football League. Is that weird to anybody else? How did we get there? How did we get here? This is like the time when you were a junior or senior in high school, and there was that one girl who everybody knew was the most popular girl. She had Prada. She had Kate Spade. She had, what's the one with the M, Addie, the M and the K on like the belt buckle? What's that one?
M and the K?
Michael Kors. That's what it is. Michael Kors. I'll take the Kors part of it. Ho! You can hold the Michael. Louis Vuitton. That girl. Everybody knew that girl. And yeah, look, man, she was the prettiest girl in school. Everybody loved her because she was popular. But then, you either die a hero or live long enough to see yourself become the villain. By junior and senior year, you were over it. And instead of voting her prom queen, homecoming queen, you gave it to that other girl who was always kind of runner-up, second in the shadows. Because everybody had agreed you'd struck a mutiny against the popular girl because she was too mean. I don't care how mean you are. I don't care how many 20-year-olds you date. Which, I mean, if you're in the running for prom queen and you're dating a 20-year-old, that is weird. That is different. I probably should care at that point. But in the context of Bill Belichick, I don't care how many 20-year-olds you date. I don't care how mean you are. I don't care that Pablo Torre went to your Airbnb that one time and took videos of it. None of that matters to me. What matters in the conversation of being a Hall of Famer is that you won 6 Super Bowls as a head coach, 2 as an assistant, coached the greatest player of all time, and won games at the top level of the National Football League with whoever you had. It's not like there was a wealth of riches year in and year out for New England. Go start naming some of the best wide receivers from the Brady era. Well, he had Randy Moss. I mean, for a second, for a blip. But most of this was done with Julian Edelman and Wes Welker, Rob Gronkowski. And Rob wasn't there for the beginning, and he wasn't really there for the end. But, we love to hate Bill Belichick. We love to hate him because he's mean and different, and he's dating that one girl. And he got fired. Doesn't change the fact he's a first ballot Hall of Famer. And if he's not, well, then what I've been told is that the committee, the Hall of Fame committee, is just as good, just as bad as the kids who voted on your senior year high school prom queen. Yeah, except for they're the National Football's Hall of Fame committee. Should be a stark difference. Coming up, surely they'll resurface on Idiot of the Day. Time for our biggest losers. Brought to you by Ethos Life, the easy way to get life insurance in 10 minutes, up to $3 million in coverage with no medical exam, just a few health questions. Get your free quote. Check ethos.com. Check ethos.com. Not available in all states. Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app. Biggest losers coming up. This is the Drake Toll Show.
A new chapter in NFL history begins.
kissable, huggable, lovable, unbelievable. She's a mouthful of anything and everything a man could want. Yeah. She ain't typical, she's unpredictable, she's available. It's a miracle how my heart stumbled into someone so kissable, huggable, lovable, unbelievable. Oh, till now my life has been so lonely and boring. Never thought I would find someone so elegant, intelligent, heaven sent, all my money spent. I put a big down payment on that itty bitty diamond ring. She's so beautiful, it's indisputable, it's undeniable. She's got a have a ball. She's music to my ears and makes my heart sing. So kissable, huggable, lovable, unbelievable. Oh, that's nice. There's so many things I want to tell her. I gotta love her. But every time I talk, I start to stutter. She's so elegant, intelligent.
10.
Hey. Drake Toll Show. Drake Toll with you. I'm seeing for the first time the Ahmad Crump and Moondog thing from last night. It's just now come across my screen where the mascot of the Cleveland Cavaliers, who beat the Lakers by 30 last night, by the way, and Ahmad Crump during the second quarter did an interpretive dance with a medicine ball. Addie, have you seen this? Oh.
No.
I don't think I like it. I really don't think I like it. It's making me extremely uncomfortable. Speaking of uncomfortable.
I thought it was fake when I saw it.
Yeah, it looks AI. It looks really AI. Sometimes we need to have uncomfortable conversations on the Drake Toll Show. Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app. Curtis, we're living in the worst of times for people who like to be warm in their life. It is frigid, even here in Savannah, Georgia, on the coast where the palm trees are. All of my plants are dead. I have a very bad job keeping plants alive. All of my plants are dead. My little pool in the back, probably frozen. I haven't checked the pipes on that thing, but I'll probably have to buy a new pump. Nothing's going right when it comes to the weather. But you know what? You can bet for sure my house does not have the heat on. I have a window cracked in my bedroom, and the thermostat's set at like 70 degrees, which is the warmest it will ever get, and set to cool. Curtis, what do you set your house at?
Here in California, a lot of these houses, we don't have built-in AC or anything because it's always 70 all the time.
What?
You don't have air conditioning in your
My apartment doesn't, no.
You're in Los Angeles without air conditioning?
What?
Nope. Yeah, a lot of the houses here are built without it because you never needed it.
Do you have
Is this
heat?
the 1800s?
I have a little heater thing.
Oh, my. Well, I'm not moving to California anytime soon. That solidifies that. I also, cost of living, crazy. Addie, what do you keep in your
It's a
apartment?
freezing 50 right now over here. You really need it.
Yeah, that would be freezing for you. Addie, what is your... Was that a cat that just rustled across your laptop? What is your apartment set at?
69.
Nice.
Nice. Heat or cool?
It has to be heat right now, or else
Weak.
these units would like freeze over.
Weak.
I didn't make the rules.
Weak.
I didn't make the rules.
I do make the rules. I am the captain of my own life. 2 roads diverge in a wood. And I chose the one less traveled by. I turned my thermostat to 70 with the cool on, despite it being 30 degrees out in Savannah, Georgia right now, because I think that's the right play. Bundle me up in blankets. Give me 7 blankets. I'll feel real cozy. My ears will feel cold, but the rest of my body very warm, feet included. That's the beauty of this time of year. And that's the segue. The reason I'm asking all that, the reason I wanted to know all that, is so we could go into our biggest losers of the day. Addie and Curtis have been added to the list for their, I guess Curtis like by default for just not having a thermostat at all, question mark, and Addie for, which I guess it is negative 17 right now in Washington, D.C. I flew into Dulles yesterday, 2 days ago.
Dulles.
Dulles?
Your arms must be sore.
Look, I don't care what you call it. I call it ass. That thing was terrible. That's one of the worst airports
I told you it would be.
I've ever been. Addie, it was so cold, they shut down the tram, the plane train. Oh, yeah, dog, we just can't run that. Oh, my gosh, how have I not told this story? They shut down the plane train, so they're driving this Star Wars-looking archaic thing with giant tires, 8-foot tires, and they're and like transporting it terminal to terminal, and you have to walk through this weird door into the machine, and the machine transports you across the airport. So I go to Terminal Z. Who the hell names a Terminal Z? I know you don't have 26 terminals. I know you don't.
I told you that one is a bad airport. When you told me you were flying into it, whenever you flew up here that one time, I was like, you're going to want to fly into National. Like, just no ifs, ands, or buts.
I don't even know. National Reagan? Is that what that is?
Yes, it's Reagan.
Okay, so I flew into Dulles. Thank you for correcting the pronunciation. I almost want to pronounce it incorrectly on purpose because it sucks so bad. It's the biggest loser of the day, easily today. I flew into there. I take the weird skin crawler across the airport. That's the only way to transport. It's too cold. I don't even know how it gets too cold for the plane train, but it did. And I'm sitting there, barbecue sauce on my... Sorry. I'm sitting there, waiting for the plane to take off in Terminal Z, and a guy comes on the microphone. For those boarding United Airlines Flight 2316 to Savannah, Georgia, we're experiencing some difficulties. As you can see out the window, he literally says, as you can see out the window, he says, as you can see out the window, your aircraft has landed here in Washington, but is currently stuck in the snow, and we are making all of our best efforts to break the plane free. Thanks for your patience. The plane is what? The plane is stuck in the snow? So I get my happy ass up, and I look outside out the window. Sure enough, whoever the pilot is has stuck the plane in the snow. He has decided to snowbank in the middle of the runway, the middle of the airport. I'm going to drive toward that. Instantly, he's got his right tire stuck in a snowbank. And so they halt operations at this gate for 2.5 hours. There are trucks aplenty. I've never seen so many trucks around one, and I can imagine the passengers sitting on there like, please, just get me to the terminal. Why did you crash into the snow? And they couldn't melt the snow. They had to find a new aircraft for us to get to Savannah. And every 30 minutes, it was just, passengers, Delta Flight 2316 to Savannah. Just want to let you know, quick update for you. As you can see out the window. He kept saying it. As you can see out the window. Yes, we're all watching actively. Your flight is here in Washington, but has been stuck in the snow momentarily, and we're doing our best efforts to fix it. We'll page you with another update soon. There were no updates. Delayed for 3.5 hours because the dude can't drive the plane. He can fly it. Sure can fly it. Can't drive it. That's the biggest loser of the day. Eli Manning, also biggest loser. Ari tweets, former Giants quarterback Eli Manning was not voted in the Pro Football Hall of Fame for the second straight year. What's it going to take? What does the man have to do? Does he have to become Phillip Rivers? Does he have to have 10 kids? What are the stats not good enough? Yeah, he wasn't Phillip Rivers statistically, but he won 2 Super Bowls. And he was winning Super Bowls against the greatest quarterback of all time. And the greatest coach of all time, who's also not a Hall of Famer, Bill Belichick. If you can quarterback me to 2 Super Bowls, I will give you the Hall of Fame, especially the longevity of his career, and still a very good statistical career. Eli Manning is a Hall of Famer in the National Football League. But, as we have been told, as has been revealed to all of us, the Hall of Fame committee sucks, and we hate them. Speaking of biggest losers of the day, that same Hall of Fame committee, for not letting Bill Belichick in, here is what. I was listening to McAfee yesterday. Here's what Jimmy Johnson had to say on Belichick not getting in.
But also with what you said last night on your Twitter account, where you, if they're going to be using Spygate as an excuse for this entire thing, they're going to have to dig into basically everybody's stuff who is potentially trying this. Could you elaborate a little bit more on how common this type of thing is, and why did it make you so upset that they left Bill Belichick off the first ballot Hall of Fame?
Well, first of all, I think this tarnishes everything in the Hall of Fame, all of the inductees, everybody in the Hall of Fame, just because of 10 or 11 or 12 ignorant, jealous souls who did not vote for him. I think it tarnishes everything about the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, get him, Jimmy Johnson. You tell him. Because it does. Look, man, Belichick was already fined some odd, $500,000 for what happened in that Jets situation and what happened in the Spygate situation. Give it a break, man. He already paid his penance when he was the head coach. And now oh my goodness, Bill Belichick, what just a stupid complex.
2 minutes.
That we need to leave him out. He's got to serve his time. These are the mean kids from high school that didn't want you to win. And your mom kept saying, don't listen to them. They're just jealous. And you thought, they're not jealous. I have a deficiency that I have to fix. But you know what? No, you don't. No, you don't have a deficiency. You have 6 Super Bowls as a head coach. 6 as a head coach, 2 as an assistant. Don't fix jack squat. Lastly, biggest losers of the day, New York Jets. Of course. Jets had the 8th, this is from Michael Nania, the 8th highest wide open target rate in the NFL. 1 spot ahead of McDaniel's Dolphins, 2 ahead of Detroit, 3 ahead of Ben Johnson's Bears. And they were 29th in completion percentage on passes with 3+ yards of separation and 30th in drop rate. So you're telling me the Jets players, the whole season long, were wide open. You're literally telling me that. I'm reading it right now. The whole season long, the Jets players were wide open. 29th in completion percentage, 30th in drop rate. Jets. Jets. Good thing Aaron Glenn fired everybody but himself. Good thing they're all canned. Final biggest losers, anybody who hates on Audie Crooks. Congrats. Audie Crooks, Iowa State women's basketball player, 2,000 points in her career. She hit that yesterday. One of the best in the game. Biggest loser, sponsored by Robinhood. You expect more from yourself, expect more from your money. Get started today at Robinhood.com/yourmoney. Packed show. Giannis and the Bucks, are they done? I mean, yeah, they are. And also, our biggest losers segues into our idiot of the day. Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app. Addie Bates produces. Curtis Poindexter runs the board for the Drake Toll Show.
This is where.
Our naked bodies go on trial just for laughing at the joke. just for saying of the bargain what any sales girl already knows. Most of us old men die at the firing line, just waiting for our number to be called. I guess time just makes fools of us all. Now the king regales his stepson when he's loaded as a gun. Says a real man is like a country, you need a map to find your one. Now I do you suppose you must approach the throne with its back up against the wall. I guess time just makes fools of us all. Minds of my generation, glad they conscripted in the war of defending any Goliath that would deign darken the door. Now with your genius for picking battles, it's no wonder every helmet is too small. I guess time just makes fools of us all. I guess time just makes fools of us all. My drink is watered down, the champ is on his knees. He lost the rematch, he lost the comeback. He lost for charity, but that's the job. It's what gets the asses in the hall. They came for a beating, and he came to brawl. Notice that of all the young gods I have known, yours is easily the least famous to turn down the cover of a Rolling Stone. Lily white faces, so familiar and yet impossible to recall. I guess time just makes fools of us all. After a millennia of good times, God said, hey now, let's have a dream where we raise the stakes a little. Come on, let's make things interesting. Parachute into the Anthropocene, an amnesiac, a himbo can doll. I guess time does make fools of us all.
Using all the hard
break it all down and help you with all of this. I'm looking to help you find bliss. One day, a one way, can't miss.
Here we go. Let's do it.
I'm here to tear all the walls down.
The Drake Toll Show.
Doesn't matter if it's a large town or a
Jack
small
White,
town.
man.
Just like Joshua on the famous walls of Jericho.
People forget.
I'm here to tear down the institution.
Addie, you know things, right?
Some things. Some things. Don't know what era we live in, but some things.
Mesozoic, monolithic. I think it's. I don't know. Wasn't Jack White? It was Jack White that played the Cowboys game on Thanksgiving. Is that correct?
Yeah.
I like him. I'm late to the party. I'm late to the Jack White party. Was he the White Stripes? Is this correct?
Yes.
Yeah, so you know him from like the bum, 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 bum.
Yeah.
Bum.
Right, which I think he played
song.
for that Thanksgiving game too. The White Stripes, did they
course.
do I Can Tell That We Are Going to Be Friends from Napoleon Dynamite?
Yes.
Okay, so Jack White's old. Is that what I'm hearing?
Correct.
Per Adam Schefter, Jack White is old.
Breaking news.
Per Adam Schefter, after a decades-long career, Jack White is old. Yet I'm just now coming around on his music, and I like it. I'm a fan. I'm bought in.
He's 50.
Wow, that's a rock star age. That's you're at 50. You know what Bret Michaels was doing? Do you know this story? You don't, do you?
What was he doing?
It is time. This is a good segue for our obituaries. Dead today. Addie's knowledge of Bret Michaels' post-rock career shenanigans. You're about to find out. You're about to learn. Here in just moments, you'll have knowledge you did not have prior. After Bret Michaels did his whole poison thing, every rose has its thorn. Come on. Good stuff right there. He would go on to
Talk
do
dirty to me? Even better.
VH1, MTV2, one of those.
Oh, well, yeah.
He did Rock of Love. And he wrote the theme song to Rock of Love. Rock of Love! And it was him and his boy, like Bubba, who was his security guard. And they just got 30 women really inebriated every day for 30 days. And they would eliminate one a day. And they would do these really weird challenges where Bret would come out and what they would do instead of a rose, that you would give on a normal show, he would give you a VIP pass. So he'd go to the room with 30 women and be like, hey, regret. And he would walk in this long, like, leather trench coat. He'd be like, hey, ladies, it's been great to have you all. With his little bandana on. But I regret to inform only 20 ladies can be a true VIP in my Rock of Love. And he would give out the 20 VIP lanyards, and then 10 girls would go home. And it was, again, he would just get them super inebriated in his quest to find a girlfriend. This is wild. I'm going to give you a spoiler here, by the way. What the challenges would be is Bret would come out on the show and be like, so usually when I'm on tour, things can get pretty crazy. And sometimes things get thrown away that I didn't want to throw away. So maybe as my girlfriend, you'll have to go in the dumpster and get them. And he would just have these scantily clad women dumpster dive because sometimes he throws things away. And if you dumpster dove and found the earring they put in there, then you would win the competition on Rock of Love. And also, every 15 minutes in this show, Bret would, how on dating shows, they take the girl to the back room and they have these deep conversations. He would take a girl back for a deep conversation. It would start all of them the same way. Be like, so you may not know, but I have diabetes. And it makes my life really hard. It was every time. It was his intro. It was being like, and because of my diabetes, which I have, it makes being a rock star really tough. And then he would just start macking on these gals. End of the story is We'll get to the last episode.
I think this is what I'm going to do in order to find. This is what I'm going to do. Try to find a boyfriend. I have
Through
to do
Rock
this.
of Love. Rock of
Yes.
Love. So the end
Yeah,
of the
I'll
season,
have my own version of that, you know?
Spoiler alert, in case anybody out there was wanting to watch Rock of Love. Sorry. He's down to 2 girls, Bret Michaels, that he could date. And he gets to the very end, Addie, and I ish you not. He says, ladies, this has been such a hard decision for me. I've been really thinking about this, and I have a request. Would you both like to date me, Bret Michaels? I kid you not. He gets to the end of Rock of Love, and he can't choose between the last 2. So he asks them both to win and just be his weird polyamorous swinger thing that he wants. These girls are 30 years younger than him, by the way.
Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that.
And one of the girls, shout out Confidence, says, you know what? No, Bret Michaels. I only want Bret Michaels if it could just be mine. She leaves the show, and then the other girl wins. And they're all like classic 2001 names. And arguably, as good as that is, I do think arguably my favorite part is that at the end of season 1, Addie, as they're closing season 1, they're like, all right, this has been season 1 of Rock of Love. We'll see you real soon for season 2. Like, what? You just picked the girl. You just picked the girl. You just said I'm going to date her.
Killing her off already.
And then a month later, they started filming for season 2 of Rock of Love, where he was like, all right, who's my next girlfriend? It's so bad.
That's wild.
Today we obituary
Wild.
romance. It died 20 years ago at the cancellation of Rock of Love. Our final obituary. Giannis Antetokounmpo and the Milwaukee Bucks. Dead today. ESPN published just after the Drake Toll show yesterday. Giannis is ready. The time has come. There comes a time when we heed a certain call. He wants to move on from the Bucks, ready to go, and is requesting a trade by February 5th, by the deadline. And if he doesn't get it by the deadline, that's okay. He'll be okay. Everything's okay. But he wants it before next season begins. And per ESPN, the Bucks are now open more than ever to field offers for Antetokounmpo prior to the trade deadline, though Milwaukee is, again, under no obligation to move him fast. They can wait till the offseason. They can have these conversations over the course of the next 6 months. Antetokounmpo and the Bucks, cautious about optics. They don't want to seem like either side is the culprit here. They're trying to be very cordial and mutual in this. And the Bucks are operating from what they call leverage. Find a resolution. Salary cap is going to be a big piece in this, but Giannis does not want to stay in Milwaukee. So we will see him go somewhere else. Please let it be San Antonio. Please. On behalf of a longtime Spurs fan, that would rock. Also, fine, whatever, we'll do it. Final obituary, the New England Patriots strength of schedule. They're in the Super Bowl. I'm not mad. I'm not upset. I'm not saying they don't deserve to be in the Super Bowl or that they're not good. But listen to the teams they played this season, because it is funny. It is funny. Week 1, played a team that fired their coach. Week 2, fired their coach. Then fired their coach. Then a team from the NFC South. Then a fired coach team. Then the NFC South. Then fired coach, NFC South. The Jets. The Bengals. Fired coach, Jets. Fired coach. That's a lot of fired coaches that the Patriots played against this year. Oops. But they're in the Super Bowl. They're winning games. They're in the Super Bowl. They're in the Super Bowl. Those are our obituaries for who died today. Time for the Quickie. Good morning. Start your day. Quickie. 5 headlines. The top 5 headlines in sports. Eddie Bates is going to read those aloud. And I, Drake Toll of the Drake Toll Show, will respond to those. Addie, are you ready?
I'm glad you clarified that I'd read these aloud and not like in silence in my head.
Well,
Good.
I knew that you had a lot of drinks last night at your trivia night, your Wednesday trivia. Just want to make sure you weren't,
You need to take, a shot in the front and the back, whatever it is.
Front and back. I wanted to make sure that you were in the right headspace to read these aloud and not just quietly whisper them.
Yes. All right. Here's your first one. Patriots list Drake May as limited prior to Super Bowl practices.
Yeah, that's not good. Did they say why?
Yeah.
What? Why?
I'm pretty sure he's injured.
Okay. I don't know if it's like just for fun thing or... Look, man.
No, because remember, it was like he was talking about after the game, his right shoulder or something. It's like kind of like banged up.
Oh, that bad? Okay. I mean, yeah, if we're going to limit him in practice this week, that's fine. You got 2 weeks to prepare. And by the way, people don't understand this. And I guess they don't understand it, but maybe they do because it's so obvious. The quarterback during an NFL practice is already not being beaten around. Like, you're good. That guy's not taking a lot of shots. He is not Addy Bates on a Wednesday at trivia when it comes to where he sits in practice prior to the Super Bowl. This is a non-issue to me. Give it a 0 on my I'm worried scale. That's more than a minute.
This one's good. Bo Nix, his injury, not a concern. He will return in 4 to 6 weeks, so he'll be ready. Whenever everybody else is like sitting out, in March and April, Bo Nix will be ready.
Hey, Boss Hog, don't rush it. I've been there, man. You just want to get back to work. You're like, I've got 102 fever. I want to get back in there. I want to play ball. Then you start trying to play ball, and you're coughing all over the place, throwing up in your mouth.
Here we go again.
Defecating all over yourself. No rush. Hey, I'm good. If you can't make it back for even 10 or 12 weeks, I'm all right. I'm gonna be okay. I'm gonna make it. But thank you for letting us all know that you're doing your best to get back in there, big guy. Appreciate the effort from Bo Nix. If they could have postponed the AFC Championship for 5 or 6 weeks, then this would be a much different headline. Thank you, Addy.
Western Michigan's O'Leary hired as Chargers defensive coordinator.
I saw that. He was formerly a staff member with the Chargers, so he's going back. It was a couple of years ago, too. So 2024, wasn't that long ago. Knows the program. Look, the McDaniel hire is already weird enough. Hiring the Western Michigan defensive coordinator is not normal. But because he has experience both in the National Football League and with the Chargers, and Western Michigan was good this year at football, I'm cool with it. Whatever, man. This is a classic example, and I said it yesterday, of teams will be hiring assistants. Guys will be building their staffs like Joe Brady with the Bills, and you won't have heard of most of these people they're hiring. You're just going to sit there, shut up, and be like, you know what? Yeah, cool. Glad to have them. This is exciting. And for me, this is one of those, yeah, cool. Glad to have them. Exciting. Great. Go. I mean, the defense wasn't the issue in LA this year. It was the offensive line. You guys told me that. You fixed it with the genius Mike McDaniel. So I'm not worried about this one. Nice hire. Whatever.
Stand-up guy over here, Patriots Robert Kraft, says Bill Belichick unequivocally deserves to be a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Pretty crazy because we know Bob and Bill didn't really get along there at the end. And to this day, I don't think Bill Belichick has said anything nice about Robert Kraft since he was fired by New England.
It was not a happy ending.
Not a happy ending. Look, this is really touching from Robert Kraft. Touch yourself. It is to see him caress and coddle Bill Belichick's
That's the word you
legacy
chose?
like this. Again, Addy, I said it's a touching move on behalf of Touch Yourself.
Yeah, he had to stroke his ego. I get it.
Uh-huh. There we go. Now we're picking up what I'm putting down. And so ultimately, it is a pleasure to know that Robert Kraft feels this way about Bill Belichick. And I think it's about time we finish this minute. What's next?
Celtics, Jason Tatum hasn't decided on a return this season.
You know what? Same. I'm right there with you, big guy. I don't know if I can keep doing it. I don't know if I can keep going either. Some days, I look at myself in the mirror and I'm like, should I keep going? Should I return this season or should I just pack it in? Am I good to go? I think if Tatum does come back from injury toward the end of the year for the Celtics, they played really well without him right when he first was out. So I think his return is not imperative, but NBA champion. You know, I wouldn't, if I'm a Celtics fan, I wouldn't be begging for him to stay away. But yeah, if you can come back for the last 2 weeks of the year, you can come back for the last week of the year into the postseason. If the Celtics are in the postseason, should be, then yeah, why not? Do it. That's a minute.
That's 5 headlines.
5 headlines. That is the quickie. 5 headlines. 60 seconds to respond to each. Not a damn one about tennis. I'm just waiting. Australia Open is right now.
Oh. Don't you fear. Whenever it is Carlos Alcaraz and Yannick Sinner, biggest Yannick Sinner fan over here. Don't you fear, Drake.
Well, he just beat Ben Shelton yesterday. You said nothing about it. Radio silence from you. That was awesome. Ben Shelton's a good American.
Would you like to talk about tennis? Would you like to talk? Yeah, but Yannick Sinner's the GOAT. Come on now.
Correct, no doubt. I mean, I don't
that
know about
gorgeous
the GOAT,
Italian. Love Yannick Sinner.
You just think he's hot. Yeah.
No, I actually do love tennis.
Exposed.
Yeah, whenever it got really hot out there, and they were like, oh, they had to take off their shirts. I was like, damn, this sucks.
Yep.
This sucks.
There it is. Come on. Coming up on the Drake Toll Show, the Browns have hired a head coach just to fire said head coach. Maybe we'll talk some Yannick Sinner too. This, Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app, is the Drake Toll Show.
If you want to feel better, don't let the devil make you toss this letter. If you've been crossed up by voodoo, the wizard or the lizard, you got family trouble, man trouble, woman trouble, no night through the rubber. You're looking for a true friend or a true lover, or if you've been living undercover, well, I'm coming to your town to break it all down and help you with all of this. I'm looking to help you find bliss. One day, one way, can't miss. I'm here to tear all the walls down. Doesn't matter if it's a large town or a small town. Just like Joshua and the fabled walls of Jericho, I'm here to tear down the institution. God spoke to me, said, listen to me. I anoint you with the power that'll get them all moving. You're agitated, you're prayed and meditated, you're concentrated on getting elevated. By sundown, one day, you who come will be blessed with a big money blessing. You will be doubted by all the unbelievers on all of the things I'm addressing. But you must tell 7 friends. You must first bring 7 friends. And don't be selfish and keep this all to yourself and don't eat shellfish. Hate is trying to take someone else's love for yourself. But I'm here to tell you that love is trying to help someone else. I realize that you have tried and are just about ready to give up. But I got good news for you. God has spoken to my mind and told me to tell you to get moving in the right direction for a change. I'm gonna put you in the fast lane. You need to see me right away so I can fix this up. You need to see me right away. You need to see me right away so I can fix this up. You need to see me right about now. God 7, open up the windows of heaven and pour out a rich and mighty blessing. Not on this town or her town, but your town. Are you ready for the message? I have a special financial blessing that once I have placed in your hand. Yeah, I want you to begin using this blessing on the very first day that you can. And if you are suffering a strange sickness, Someone is blocking up all of your success. You need to see me right away so I can fix this. Sound sincerely yours in faith, love, and peace, your friend Archbishop Harold Holmes.
Fly, Eagles fly, on the road to victory. Fly, Eagles fly, score a touchdown, 1, 2, 3. Hit 'em low, hit 'em high, and watch those Eagles fly. Fly, Eagles fly, on the road to victory.
It's back. It's a staple. Ew. So good. The Drake Toll Show. Drake Toll with you. Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app. That's become the theme song of the show at this point. Still have no idea who sings it, but awesome. Man, so many things happening in the National Football League, but maybe the most glaring headline is the thing that's not happening. It's Bill Belichick being put into the Hall of Fame. He should be. Drake Toll with you, Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app. Here's a really good nugget on this, because the whole deal has been, Spygate happened. It's an excerpt from Mike Shanahan, what he said about Spygate, per the Patriots book by Seth Wickersham. Goodell was due to call Belichick on Wednesday, September 12th. The Jets sent a letter to the Patriots asking them to preserve any evidence. Part of the process of filing an official grievance. Kraft denied any knowledge of the filming to the league, ordered Belichick to cooperate. In the days after the call, Goodell set himself an impossible task, educate himself on the advantage the Patriots had accrued in 7 years since they've been taping opponents. So he called Mike Shanahan. Listen to this. This is the reason Bill Belichick was left out of the Hall of Fame. Out of the first ballot. Out of his opportunity. Was for Spygate. Goodell called Shanahan. Said, "What's going on here?" "I wish I had thought to videotape signals," Shanahan replied. "I'm disappointed in myself." Sobering glimpse into the mindset of the best. Unlike many in the league who took the opportunity to pile on Belichick, here was a two-time Super Bowl champion, Shanahan responding honestly. "Roger," Shanahan continued. First of all, people are always trying to steal signs. Peyton Manning is the best. If you don't change your signals, you're dead. Goodell understood, but thought that taping them illegally was different. The rule was the rule. You can't say that Bill Belichick is a bad guy, Shanahan said. Bill is just better at it than most. Yep. Goodell finally realized this goes beyond the Patriots. It's been going on for that long, Goodell said. I can promise you, Shanahan responded. But that moment where the big boys, the real competitors in the NFL, said, yeah, you know, the Spygate thing was kind of a non-issue. It wasn't really that bad. Because if we're good at our jobs and smart, we're already changing our signals. Oh, but the ball knowers of the NFL Hall of Fame committee, yeah, those geniuses over there, they were like, oh, my goodness. Spygate, that thing 20 years ago. Whoa, can't let him be a first ballot Hall of Famer, right, guys? Come on. He did that one thing that one time. You know that thing he was punished in the moment for? Fined in the moment for? Yeah, but Deflategate, they deflated those footballs. You mean the thing that Tom Brady was suspended for? We've already had repercussions for these. Yeah, you want to hold him out of the Hall of Fame. Stupid. 310-840-4910. 310-840-4910. Drake Toll, Westwood One Sports. The Westwood One Sports app on the Drake Toll Show. The Cleveland Browns have hired a new head coach. Look, I've got some audio here that we can play for you. Some audio that can accompany us on this conversation from ESPN Cleveland about how the Browns went in a different direction and had no idea what direction they wanted to go, but the GM effectively took over without any input from anybody else.
My initial reaction is, holy cow. My second reaction is Schwartz the DC or not? That would help me accept it. If he's not, you're going to get an offense coordinator and a defensive coordinator off the grid that we haven't been talking about. So let's see how the dust settles, but this indicates that Haslam was never comfortable with Shieldhouse, and he went against the recommendation of his search committee leader and GM. I wonder about the future of Andrew Berry. They chose offense over defense, and they weren't comfortable with Shieldhouse.
So
this is all on Haslam.
Yeah. So this is an example of guy with power says, I don't care what the search committee says. I don't care what the GM says. I'm going to do my own thing. And you know what? This whole hiring of Todd Monken as the head coach of the Cleveland Browns is reminiscent of the greatest, worst company of all time. Cue the music. 1876, baby. It's the greatest blunder in business history. You ever heard of Western Union? They're possibly the worst company of all time. They are the Cleveland Browns of companies. At the height of Western Union's power, they owned the Telegraph. See, the Browns haven't always sucked. Way back when, they were good. Alexander Bell would come on to invent the telephone. But Western Union, the owner of the Telegraph, said, Alexander Graham Bell, you're broke. You're a poor little man with your silly little telephone. Their president, William Orton, famously wrote, what use could this company make of an electrical toy? They called the telephone a toy. Then for $100,000, $3 million today, Graham Bell sold the phone to what is AT&T. Western Union, passing up on a $3 million offer for what would be trillions of dollars in revenue, gave it to AT&T and said, we're fine. No. Then President William Orton eventually spent millions of dollars of his own to challenge Bell's patents, but he was too late. Oh, fear not. It gets worse. This is the Cleveland Browns of companies. Western Union was a pioneer in space. They after 100 years of just lackluster performance after the whole telegraph phone snafu thing, they are back on the forefront. Hello, Kevin Stefanski. They're winning again. 1974, they launched Westar 1, the first domestic communications satellite in the U.S. They were going to become the SpaceX of the 1970s, far before SpaceX. But they were so buried in debt from the whole telegraph thing, they didn't really think that satellite data was the future of global communication. So they said, you know what? Screw it. They sold off all their satellite stuff to Hughes, the Hughes Aircraft Company in the 80s. Today, 2026, satellite communication, multi-billion-dollar industry. Western Union abandoned it before it became a multi-billion-dollar institution. They fired Kevin Stefanski before they started winning. Oh, lest ye forget, it gets worse. 1960s, they built and operated TODD for the Department of Defense, the most sophisticated data switching network in the world, a proto-internet. This is a closed internet, basically, for the military, right? But they were so focused on teletype, and it's printing text on paper, they could not conceive a world, a digital world, where computers talk to each other without paper. That will never catch on. So, they stood still. They said, TODD, go away. While other developers built ARPANET, which is what we use today and call the Internet. Western Union had the entire technology for the Internet and said,
Google me.
We don't really think this is going to catch on. So somebody else invented the Internet. And lastly, they loved the telegram so much. Western Union, despite fax machines, pagers, emails, SMS texting, they kept selling telegrams, sending telegraphs until 2006. The iPhone was released in 2007. They poured millions into keeping the telegram alive. Never innovated into digital messaging and let AOL, Yahoo, WhatsApp, and Google boat race Western Union. They kept on failing. But you know what never happened? Western Union never died. They're still a legacy company. They're still here. They still have physical real estate. They still have money transfers. Western Union is still alive. The Cleveland Browns, despite having 11 head coaches since 1999 and 3,600 quarterbacks start in their franchise since 1999, are still alive. And Todd Monken is their head coach. I don't know, man. I don't know. It just feels like we hired a guy to lose. We hired a guy to fire a guy, and we want not a quick fix. We don't want a Super Bowl. We don't really want to win. We're just kind of skating by, hiring someone we can hire for cheap. Let them lose. It's what we do best. We're the Cleveland Browns. We lose. And then we move on with our lives. And soon, no one will ever remember that Todd Monken was the coach here. No one will ever remember that Western Union failed all of those times. Because in 2 years, 2027, after 2 seasons as the head coach, Todd Monken will have got his bag. He'll have his money. He'll have his goods. He'll be set. He'll be just fine. And the Cleveland Browns will move on to the next guy who's going to lose for them. The next guy who's going to fail. But for now, they have the Weekend at Bernie's dude. They can just prop up Todd Monken. Like, hey, boss, you're the puppet to Haslam. You're the guy that we needed right now to coach Shedeur Sanders and accept that Shedeur Sanders is your quarterback. And past that, Nothing else matters. We don't care. So you know what? If anybody wins here, it's the 60-year-old Todd Monken, who doesn't need another job. He just needs the good retirement money that the Cleveland Browns are going to give him, the buyout money the Cleveland Browns are going to give him in 2 years, and the opportunity to sit back, watch Shedeur Sanders throw the ball into the stands, off the sidelines, spike it, and get his bag. All of this glory, is brought to you by Progressive Commercial Insurance. Sponsored by Progressive Commercial Insurance, protecting your business and vehicles 24/7. See if you can save at progressivecommercial.com. Progressivecommercial.com, protecting your business vehicles 24/7 at progressivecommercial.com. Ross Tucker played for Bill Belichick on the gridiron, did the football for Papa Bill, and can tell us on the other side of this break why Bill Belichick is not a first-ballot Hall of Famer and whether or not this committee got it right. Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app. This is the Drake Toll Show.
like I'm 22. You know I'm 305, tatted on my body. I got everybody in a job. Somebody hit the lights, camera, let me improvise. Can I get a hallelujah? More moolah, more peace for my medulla.
of the whole crew up, yeah. Louis Prada, Dundada, top flow, come take a ride up with the Prada. I came up from the bottom, you have no idea. You can't swipe through my story, write my name in history. Yeah, sing it, almost had me down, came back to life. Hell yeah, I'm feeling right. Who's gonna stop me now? Oh, what a night. Yeah, sing it, I can't even lie. What a time to be alive. Drinks in the sky. Suicide doors fly open, I reemerge from the side like a god. I'm talking real guap. 23, 45 with the rock. I'm a lot. I am not what they think. I like it dirty. I be filthy with the ricochet. She threw it at me. I hit it right down the straight away. Feel like somebody put a blue pill in my lemonade. I think that's how I ended up in the bay with this pain in my head. You know I came up from the bottom. You have no idea. You can't swipe through my store. No sir. Write my name in his store. Yeah, sing it. Almost had me down. Came back to life. Hell yeah, I'm feeling right. Who's gonna stop me now? Oh, what a night. Yeah, I can't even lie. What a time to be alive. Drinks in the sky. Oh, what a night. Yeah, sing it. Almost had me down. Came back to life.
No, stay back. Psst, psst.
Here we go. Welcome back to the Drake Toll Show. Drake Toll with you from the Savannah Bananas organization, Locked On Big 12, and Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app. A day like today, you look across the National Football League, storylines abound. Todd Monken to the Cleveland Browns. Bill Belichick not to the Hall of Fame, at least not on the first ballot, his first opportunity. And the Super Bowl, the New England Patriots against the Seattle Seahawks, effectively overshadowed by the coaching carousel, because those two teams, well, they have quarterbacks that I haven't really heard of. Oh, they have coaches who are new blood with their respective organizations. But it does not take away from this guy being on the sidelines for one of the most dominant DVOA teams we've seen, one of the most dominant defensive teams we've seen the last 2 decades in the National Football League, for our very own Westwood One, walking the sidelines, Ross Tucker, this past weekend in Seattle covering the Seahawks, host of the Ross Tucker Football Podcast. Check him out at Ross Tucker NFL on Twitter, at Ross Tucker NFL across social media. Ross, you saw it up close and personal for Westwood One Sports with our network Westwood One Sports. Are the Seattle Seahawks the best team in the NFL, bar none?
Yeah, I think they are. And it's interesting. And by the way, congratulations on the show, Drake. That's awesome. I'm pumped for you. And, you know, I really thought most of the year that the Rams were the best team. And if you go back to that Week 16 Thursday night game, it's almost like it switched in the fourth quarter of that game when, you know, the Rams had been dominating. It's 30-14. Seahawks come from behind. They get the touchdowns, the 2-point conversions. The one was obviously extremely controversial. But it felt like ever since then, the Rams were kind of leaking oil or run out of gas, and the Seahawks just took their game to another level. And really both sides of the ball, they were running it so well. I mean, to have back-to-back games where you give up a total of 9 points to Kyle Shanahan and Brock Purdy and the Niners offense, it's super impressive. And I think a lot of people thought they might be good enough to win it with Sam Darnold kind of just being along for the ride.
Yeah.
But that's not true. He needed to play well on Sunday, and he did. He needed to play well. He did. And if he plays like he did in the NFC Championship game, I think they're clearly the best team.
Ross Tucker joining the Drake Toll Show at Ross Tucker NFL. Ross, this Super Bowl it feels like it pales in comparison right now in the headlines. I've watched I've got my TV on quad box, every major network, not a lick about the Patriots or the Seahawks, all about the coaching carousel or Bill Belichick, and I get it. I understand it. As of Thursday, January 29th, that's what's hot right now. It's the Bill Belichick story. And what I love about your coverage of this, Ross, is everybody can tell us that it's bad and it shouldn't have happened. And that's the easy take. But you've given a lot of really solid meat on the bones of why this happened, why the voters did not put Bill Belichick in this round, his first ballot opportunity. Why is it, in your opinion, that he was ultimately left off in that room where it happens?
Well, so it's interesting because I did talk to some of the people that are voters because they text me sometimes and say, who are you thinking? Really more for the modern era guys, not for like the seniors and contributors or whatever. But I think there's 4 plausible reasons why you could choose to not vote Bill Belichick in on the first ballot. I think probably the most notable is just the process, which is very unique. It's not like for the modern era guys. They basically have 3 seniors candidates who they've been pushing for years to get in and even get a chance, even be on the seniors ballot. And you really only get one chance on the senior ballot. So it's L.C. Greenwood, Roger Craig, Kenny Anderson. Then there's a contributor, Robert Kraft, and a coach, Bill Belichick.
Yeah.
Well, you can only vote for 3 out of those 5. So I think some people know that Belichick's going to get in some other year, and they wanted to make sure that these senior candidate players got in. Or I think some of them might have thought, well, Belichick's definitely going to get in. I'm not going to waste one of my votes on him. I want to vote for these players. So I think that's one reason. There's no question in my mind that I think some of them and a couple of voters at least probably held the 2 cheating scandals against him. I did have one person say to me, listen, he's a great coach, but in 11 years as a head coach in the NFL without Tom Brady as his starting quarterback, he won 1 playoff game. So I don't feel like I have to vote him in the first year. And then the last one, Drake, and this is just the reality of life, how you treat people matters. And I think that people probably should put that aside when they're voting for something like this, but that's easier said than done. If a guy is a jerk to you and you don't like him, and then you have a chance to vote for him or not for something, I'm sure a few of those people are like, oh, really, Bill? But actually, the weird thing is it's kind of backfiring because he's going to get in next year now, and they're also kind of making him a sympathetic figure. He's almost like a martyr at this point.
Ross, it's like that one time when I was a senior in high school, the most popular girl didn't win prom queen because she was kind of mean. But she was definitely the prom queen, right? Like everybody knew she was prom queen. She didn't get it. Bill Belichick will be prom queen come next year, and the egg will be on somebody's face, likely the whole of those who were vocal with this committee. Before we get you out of here, Ross, look, it shows your breadth of knowledge across the NFL that I can go kind of anywhere here. And I do want to touch on the Cleveland Browns because this is such a big topic. Todd Monken, I got an inkling today that in 2027, I'll likely be on this show again talking about the firing of Todd Monken. I mean, are we making this move as the Cleveland Browns to compete, to win, to play for a Super Bowl, or are we making this move as a holdover for a couple of years until the next guy can contribute at the top level of the National Football League?
Well, so I got to tell you, I love this move.
Wow,
and
I like
maybe it's because I get a chance to meet with with Todd Monken, and in production meetings the last couple of years, calling games for CBS. I'll tell you what I like about Drake. We hear the same 5 young guys' names.
Yep.
It's Shieldhouse from the Rams, and it's Udinski from Jacksonville. And I'm sure that those guys are terrific young coaches. And I talked to Shieldhouse for a while before the game on Sunday, and he's impressive. But it strikes me at times as like groupthink, and so much of it feels like it's agent driven. and media-driven. What I like about the Browns, I don't think anybody else interviewed Jim Schwartz. I don't think anybody else interviewed Todd Monken. I think the Browns basically said, you know what? Screw you guys. Like, we're not just going to do the hot candidates because you say they are. Jim Schwartz would probably do a much better job his second time around than he did in Detroit. And Monken, he's been a head coach before. You either have or you haven't. The last year he was a head coach, he was the Conference USA Coach of the Year for Southern Miss. They went from 0-12 to 9-5. He goes to Georgia, who sucked on offense forever, and he gets Stetson Bennett to light it up, and they win back-to-back national championships.
Yeah.
He goes to Baltimore and gets Lamar Jackson to have probably should have been the back-to-back MVP.
Correct.
And be way better in the passing game than he ever was. I like it. I like that the Browns didn't care what everybody else thought, and they interviewed their own guys, and they thought he was the best guy.
Yeah. Ross Tucker, host of the Ross Tucker Football Podcast, our very own from right here at Westwood One, joining the Drake Toll Show. Ross, before we do get you out of here, I want to commend your work with My Front Page Story, myfrontpagestory.com. So the site is incredibly easy to use, and my parents actually, the second I signed on with Westwood One for us to become coworkers, they went to myfrontpagestory.com and had a story done about this. It's a front page style that says "brand new voice." That's the headline. If you give us a quick blurb, man, really love what you're doing with that and how we can support you.
It's incredible. My buddy started it. It's by far the best Valentine's Day gift I've ever seen. You talk to a writer or fill out an email in 10 minutes. They write an incredible story about your wife, your girlfriend, whatever. Looks like it's on the cover of the newspaper, framed, beautiful. When you give it to her and she's opening it and has no idea what it is, Drake, just to be able to say, babe, I wanted something special for you, so I had a story written about you. Like that's so money, it's not even funny. And make sure you say to her, I just never thank her. Make sure you tell the writer, I just never thank her enough for all the little things she does. She will cry. You will win.
2 minutes.
MyFrontPageStory.com. MyFrontPageStory.com.
Best gift ever. Ross Tucker at Ross Tucker NFL. Join the Drake Toll Show. Ross, thanks so much for your time.
Anytime, man. Keep kicking butt. Pump for you. See ya.
Surely we'll talk to Ross plenty of times over the course of this offseason going into I say offseason. It's not. I mean, there is a game to go. Maybe I'm part of the problem. Maybe I'm the guy who's not talking enough about the New England Patriots and the Seattle Seahawks playing in the Super Bowl. That is Ross Tucker, NFL vet who played for Bill Belichick, who instead of just saying, hey, he should have been a Hall of Famer on this first ballot, here is why the committee, people he has talked to from the committee, did not let him in. Oof. You've scorned me. Oof. Maybe you weren't a nice guy. Maybe you're a little too mean. Maybe you made it about yourself too often. And now it's my turn to vote you in or out of the Hall of Fame.
1 minute.
I get to determine what happens with your legacy. And you want me to vote yes? Even Robert Kraft, a guy who was scorned by Belichick. Two guys who didn't get along a ton there at the end. Even Robert Kraft put in a vote of confidence. But just wasn't quite enough. 310-840-4910. 310-840-4910. Drake Toll with you. Westwood One Sports and the Westwood One Sports app. Coming up, our idiot of the day. Emmanuel Ocho said something stunning. Really, really stunning. It's about the Cleveland Browns, about Shedeur Sanders, that I cannot believe went over the airwaves on a national network. We've got to get to it for our idiot of the day. And Diego Pavia has found his way on the list again. This is the Drake Toll Show.
This.
Bodies go on trial just for laughing at the joke. just for saying of the bargain what any sales girl already knows. Most of us old men die at the firing line, just waiting for our number to be called. I guess time just makes fools of us all. Now the king gets his stepson when he's loaded as a gun. Says a real man is like a country. You need a map to find your one. Now I do you suppose you must approach the throne with its back up against the wall. I guess time just makes fools of us all. Minds of my generation, glad they conscripted in the war of defending any Goliath that would deign darken the door. Now with your genius for picking battles, it's no wonder every helmet is too small. I guess time just makes fools of us all. I guess time just makes fools of us all. My drink is watered down. The champ is on his knees. He lost the rematch. He lost the comeback. He lost for charity, but that's the job. It's what gets the asses in the hall. They came for a beating, and he came to brawl. Notice that of all the young gods I have known, yours is easily the least famous to turn down the cover of a Rolling Stone. Lily white faces, so familiar and yet impossible to recall. I guess time just makes fools of us all. After a millennia of good times, God said, hey now, let's have a dream where we raise the stakes a little. Come on, let's make things interesting. Parachute into the Anthropocene, an amnesiac, a himbo Kendall. I guess time does make fools of us all. my boots in my hand, and my hat on my feet. Somebody drive me home. Well, I don't know if I should be left alone. And if my girlfriend calls, we'll tell her I'm just a fly on the wall.
Man, what you know about it? I got a busy day today. Busy day tomorrow. Tomorrow at 4:45, I'm flying from Savannah, Georgia, where I live, to Texas. So here's the deal. Here's the deal, man. If you know anything about Texas, you know that El Paso is closer to Los Angeles. Curtis, shout out. Santa Monica, Culver City, Westwood. El Paso is closer to L.A. than it is the furthest east portion of Texas, the border, trying to get into Louisiana or Arkansas over there. So when my buddy who lives in Houston was getting married, I was like, yeah, man, I'm getting married in the Houston area. Excited to see you at the wedding. I thought, yeah, all right. I'll book my Savannah to Houston flights pretty late. Get a Uber from the airport to, the hotel. That's it. Oh, contrary to popular opinion, I would not consider College Station, Texas, to be the Houston area. Yes, Addie?
You would consider Waco to be the Dallas area.
I mean, in certain contexts, yes. In the context of I could go to Dallas whenever I wanted to, living in Waco, and have a good, happy, fun time. I had a car there. But when I think I am getting married in Houston, I'm like, all right, maybe you're getting married in Spring, Coppell, the Woodlands. And that's far enough outside of Houston that it would already be inconvenient for me to get to. But when Houston area becomes College Station, all things change. So I will be flying tomorrow. Listen to this. From Savannah to Dallas-Fort Worth. When I land at Dallas-Fort Worth, my friends, the Turnpike Troubadours, are playing a concert at Billy Bob's, my favorite venue in America. Number 2 would be Red Rocks. Number 3 is that field that I saw a festival in Montana. I love music. So I'm going to fly in tomorrow, see my friends, the Turnpike Troubadours, a band, at Billy Bob's. The show starts at 10, by the way. Extremely late. Then get up on Saturday morning, put my suit on. I got my boots on the ground. Whoa, whoa. And then I'm going to drive 3 hours to College Station where they will be betrothed. And I will have all of the beers.
You are old enough to get your own, rent a car now.
Yep.
You're old.
I rented a car in
Wow.
Salt Lake City. Issue. Uh-oh. I landed in Salt Lake this past weekend to see BYU play Arizona. Number 1 versus number 13. Crazy atmosphere, crazy game. Awesome game. You ever use Turo? Is that a word that makes sense in your brain?
No.
Oh, okay. Kurt, you big Turo guy? Get your ass in here.
I've heard of it. I've never used it myself, but I have heard of it.
All right, we got to get you on that. Turo is like where I could go to a rental car company and spend $140 a day on a car. Turo is like $50 a day, $40 a day. So much better. And it's because individual human beings like myself, I'm an individual person, you can go in and take your vehicle. I can take my Bronco and Turo it. So anybody when I'm out of town could drive my Bronco as an effective rental car. So it's far cheaper. So I'm texting back and forth with these Turo people like, hey, what the heck, man? Why have you not sent me how to get in this car yet? I just landed. Tell me how to get in the car. I want to drive. Let me drive the car. There's a Nissan Rogue. And the Turo guy's like, dude, your reservation is next weekend, January 30th. Here we go again.
Bro.
It's like, that's not good. That's really not good. So I had to, last second, order a new Turo car. Lost $400 in this deal. And I go in there. There are 2 options. One is just a mom van, total mom van for $400. Or for $300, a 2019 Dodge Charger. And so I got in there. And I said, fine, I'll take the 2019 Dodge Charger for $300, whatever. This is my only chance at having a vehicle for the next 4 days in the greater Salt Lake area. And I could tell immediately the guy I was renting from, by the way, it's 9 o'clock on a Friday. I get this. He is just high as a kite. He is high as a fly on Willie Nelson's wall. It's like, oh, that's not good. He's like, yo, bro, I gotta, he's like just one of these mountain guys, one of these mountain ski guys. He's like, I gotta get out there. I gotta go get the car. I gotta bring it to you. Like, I don't know, bro. It's like, oh, this isn't good. But anybody, he'll do anything for $300. He gets up out of Salt Lake, drives 45 minutes, brings me the car. And I was in a smoke-filled, weird-smelling 2019 Dodge. Man, if I'd had that thing in 2019 in Arkansas, back in Valonia, I'd had all the ladies. That girl who didn't win prom queen because she was a little bit too mean. That girl who couldn't be first ballot Hall of Fame because she was a little too mean. I'd have had her rolling with me in my Dodge Charger. Yes, Addie?
Her and her boyfriend, probably?
Yes. He would not be invited until the most inconvenient time of the date. When I would realize, oh, you have a boyfriend. She'd be like, yes. Like, oh.
Is that the most inconvenient time of the date, though? Is it really?
Yeah, there are more inconvenient times for the boyfriend to show up. You're no doubt. Hey, you're onto something here. You're onto something. Whenever you're a high schooler and a girl says, you should come out to our land, my dad owns a field. That only means one thing. It's weird to think about now, but in Arkansas when you're 17, it's like, yeah, your dad owns a field. It's land. Good for your dad.
That's why, Brad Paisley wrote Ticks.
Gross.
Out in a field.
Gross. But yeah, he did write Ticks. Get a little mud on the tires. Good morning, America. It's good to be with you. Hey, it's time for our Idiot of the Day.
Idiot of the Day.
Hey. Gosh dang it, Kurt. Here comes that damn music.
Did you like how Addie pre-laughed before I even started playing it?
She was ready for Stomp and Tickle or Tickle and Fart, whatever this is. Can I say fart? Is that an FCC thing? I'm not sure if I can.
Slap and Tickle.
5 weeks into the show.
Is it called Slap and Top?
The first time that I've said
Slap and Top.
The worst version of toot. The F word.
You can say that. You can say that. You can say the F word.
All right, thanks. Idiot of the Day number 1. Addie included this clip. There are too many opportunities in life to dunk on Emmanuel Acho. But I guess we'll take this as one of them for Idiot of the Day. Here's what Emmanuel Acho had to say about the whole Browns situation.
Because any expectation for Shedeur Sanders under Todd Monken will lead to disappointment. There is nothing about Todd Monken as a head coach that should get you excited. As an offensive coordinator, you could say Lamar Jackson had an MVP season under Todd Monken. As an offensive coordinator, Lamar Jackson had 41 touchdowns and 4 interceptions under Todd Monken. As an offensive coordinator, you can make arguments under Todd Monken. Stetson Bennett won 2 national championships at Georgia under Todd Monken. But as a head coach, no. Nothing about Todd Monken as a head man gets me excited. I need to see who the offensive coordinator is going to be. That's what I need to see. But what I don't yet see, T, is how is Todd Monken going to command that locker room, command that group of men? And also, if I'm Shedeur or anybody in that locker room, why am I listening to Todd Monken? What have you won on an NFL level as a head coach? You're not even a head coach on an NFL level. So I don't even have expectation for Shedeur under Todd Monken because I believe any expectations I would have, he would not meet. Because why am I excited about it, T? Why?
Hey. I just want to tell you guys, listeners of the Drake Toll Show, Westwood One Sports. Westwood One Sports app. I'm gonna do it. Just because somebody's talking fast at you, they want to talk fast at you. You feel like they know things you don't know. They feel like they know things. They have information you don't know. They want to ask the same question over and over again because you may not know it. They want to say the same thing over and over again for inflection. The vernacular changes. The sentence structure changes. The way we talk changes. Can he be a head coach? I want to talk fast. Repeat myself a little bit over and over again. Because maybe if I do that and I stop slowly, You'll listen to what I'm trying to say. You'll think I'm knowledgeable. You're not actually listening to what I have to say. You're listening to the way I say it. And then you begin to gravitate toward it because you feel like that guy, he's saying something intelligent. And I'm not listening to what he's saying, but I'm hearing the way he says it. Because he talks real loud. He gets real fired up. And then he brings it right down here. And then he slows it down. That's all that was. That's all it is. That's all it is. It's a good shtick. It's a great shtick. Ooh, I'm going to talk fast and then slow and then really try to engage you. Come on now. Old preacher tactic. Yeah, you're listening now, huh? But if you really listen to the words, it's pretty stupid. It's pretty stupid. Addie, I have a question for you. You're the producer. You know things. You ready for this?
Yes.
Who's the head coach of the Seattle Seahawks?
Curtis, please. Curtis.
Curtis, who's the head coach of the Seattle Seahawks?
Mike McDonald.
Thank you. Curtis, who is Mike McDonald the head coach for, this is a trick question, before the Seattle Seahawks?
The Seahawks?
No one. Yes, correct. The Seahawks. So what, Emmanuel Acho?
Curtis.
So what, Emmanuel Acho? What, were we not supposed to trust Mike McDonald, one of the great minds on defense in the country, because he hadn't been a head coach before? No respect. You played in the league. You played NFL football. You have to know there are head coaches. No one just starts day one as a head coach. You begin as a coordinator or an assistant. Addie, who's the head coach of the Jacksonville Jaguars?
Duval.
Yes, Liam Cohen. Who was he the head coach for before the Jacksonville Jaguars?
Duval.
Exactly. But the idiot of the day today, Emmanuel Acho, would tell you, there's zero reason. Let me tell you. There's zero reason. Trevor Lawrence should trust Liam Cohen. Should trust Liam Cohen because he shouldn't trust Liam Cohen. He hadn't been a head coach for the NFL. They call him Stetson Bennett. He's got talking so fast about whatever he's talking about. It's not about the actual words. It's about how you say it. Nothing frustrates me more when I turn on the television. I listen to the radio. I hear these people on podcasts. Look, they're not saying anything. They're just either yelling or talking really fast, hoping that you're not listening. Shador, what kind of precedent are we setting here? That Shador should just not listen to his head coach because he hasn't been. Because what have you won as a head coach? What have you won as a head coach? That's just a stupid take. But surely, if the Browns hired Deion Sanders, who's never been a head coach in the NFL, it'd be different, huh? Surely that'd be different. Or if they'd hired Udinsky, it'd be different. If they hire the young guy from Denver, it'd be different. Those guys who've never been head coaches before in the National Football League. But of course, surely Acho would like them then. More idiots of the day. Diego Pavia. It's kind of universal. Diego Pavia had this to say when interviewed at the Senior Bowl.
Day one, Senior Bowl practice in the books for you, Diego. How do you feel like today went?
90.
I feel really good. You kind of get to see what some of these guys can do. It's like, oh, I should just throw it up every time. You know what I mean? But yeah, I had an amazing experience here today. That's why I'm here. You know, at the Panini Bowl. Super thankful for Drew bringing me here and inviting me here. And, you know, this opportunity is something that I'll remember for the rest of my life.
What do you hope to prove to scouts, coaches this week when you're out here?
That I'm the best player in the country. You get me, you're going to get someone who's a winner, a competitor, a leader, and someone who doesn't take no for an answer.
What's your offseason been like, just in terms of you wanting to get back on the field and to show people, hey, what you're all about?
I'm a grinder. That's all I've ever known my whole life. I tell this story a lot. Back home, there's not like Melky's been back home. It's not a lot there, you know what I mean, back in Albuquerque, New Mexico. And the way I would train is I tell my brother, hey, we're in the road, middle of the road, and he's going, measuring out 20 yards with his feet. And I was like, all right, time me. And I'm running a 3.9, 20 yards. I'm like, dude, scoot your in, you know what I mean? I need 20 yards, you know, so, but that's just who I am.
Yeah, absolutely. I know we got to get off the field. I want to ask you, any interviews, meetings with teams, and what have you heard from so far?
Yeah, they put me on the board. They've heard my story. I told him my story, just about my upbringing, just the sports that I played and things like that. And I hope, I hope someone gets me, and if it gets me, I'm going to do everything I can in my willpower. I'll die for the team.
Cool. Diego, appreciate you, man. Best of luck this week, bro. Appreciate it.
Best of luck this week, bruh. This is the same dude who said F Fernando Mendoza for winning the Heisman. Now he got robbed. Although I won't take no for an answer. Diego, we're not drafting you. No one's drafting you. But I won't take no for an answer. Please, draft me. Please. I'm short. Draft me. No. But I will not take that for an answer. Please, draft me. Not happening. Idiot of the day. Diego Pavia. Because you made this bed. You made this bed. You were way too loud. You showed the world who you actually are. You had to apologize for it because it was so bad. And now you're just not going to play in the NFL. But look, no one has ever been more built to be an elite level, all-pro, Hall of Fame, XFL quarterback. Or Allegiance League, or whatever the hell they're calling that thing now. Congrats, Diego. You have the next spot on the Birmingham Big Boys. Because you're a big boy. Those are our idiots of the day. Today on the Drake Toll Show. Coming up around the corner, Chris Easterling joins the Drake Toll Show, covering the Cleveland Browns for the Akron Beacon Journal to talk a new head coach and a new era for those dogs. This is the Drake Toll Show.
She's my homecoming queen in tight denim jeans, mixed with a southern drawl. Likes fried green tomatoes, cornbread and potatoes, and she doesn't have a single flaw. She could program computers or get a job at Hooters, make imagination run wild. Fulfill my wishes, knock me down with kisses, and put me to sleep with a smile. She's champagne in a Dixie cup, catfish caviar, a Georgia peach, firm and sweet, packed in a mason jar. She makes cotton look like silk, you ought to see her in my truck. But she's got all of everything, champagne in a Dixie cup. Find a place in the country, raise some little pumpkins, listen to the robins sing. Talk about the weather, blend life together, out on the front porch swing. Count lightning bugs, hold hands and hug, let out a rebel yell. Well, there's nothing like a sunrise, a good sip of moonshine, nothing like a southern belle. She's champagne in a Dixie cup, catfish caviar, a Georgia peach, firm and sweet, packed in a mason jar. She makes cotton look like silk, you ought to see her in my truck. But she's got all of everything, champagne in a Dixie cup. She makes cotton look like silk, you ought to see her in my truck. But she's got all of everything, champagne in a Dixie cup. Yeah, she's got all of everything, champagne in a Dixie cup.
Ought to be talking about Baylor.
And the Falcons have it again.
Bong.
Drums keep pounding a rhythm to the brain. La-da-da-da-dee. La-da-da-da-dee.
Here we go. The Drake Toll Show, Westwood One Sports, and the Westwood One Sports app. You would have no idea, but the New England Patriots are playing the Seattle Seahawks in the thing we call the Super Bowl. Now, that is, 10 days away? But every single headline this morning, Bill Belichick to the Buffalo Bills to the Cleveland Browns, has been coaching carousel and the miscellaneous across the National Football League, but almost as it should be. It's weird we're not gearing up for Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl, Matthew Stafford in the Super Bowl. It's like America has turned its back on the big game because they don't feel like the big game is big enough, but it should be. And as much as I would love to convince you that it should be, today's show has been all about Bill Belichick, the Cleveland Browns, the Buffalo Bills, and you know what? I don't regret a damn minute of it. This is the Drake Toll Show. Drake Toll with you from the Savannah Bananas organization, locked on Big 12, and right here on Westwood One Sports. And now we go to the insider, the man who knows, the guy who's covered it nonstop. The last 48 hours have been extremely busy for Chris Easterling, so very grateful for him taking the time to join the Drake Toll Show, covering the Browns for the Akron Beacon Journal. Chris, all right, every time that, when I was in high school, I'd go on a date with a girl, my mom and dad would sit me down, we'd do a little, checklist, little pros and cons list. Let's start with the pros, because there have been so many cons, so many dissenters of this Todd Monken move. What are the pros for the Cleveland Browns in hiring him as their next head coach?
I think it starts with his work with quarterbacks. I mean, if you go and look, and granted, he was working with Lamar Jackson and Baker Mayfield and Jameis Winston. I get that. But at the same time, Lamar has his best 2 years. Really should have been back-to-back MVP years.
Yeah.
His first 2 years working with Todd Monken. Baker Mayfield's passing yardage, the 1 year he was OC in Cleveland, was the highest total he had in his time in Cleveland. Jameis had a really good year, his first year with Todd in Tampa Bay in 16. So he turned Stetson Bennett into a two-time national champion.
Yeah.
And Georgia, I mean, he works well with quarterbacks. And I think when we get down to brass tacks about this hire and this franchise and what's the problem, it's the quarterback position. And I think they look at him, he's a quarterback whisperer. He works well with quarterbacks. And in general, he is a bright offensive mind. And I think that was the biggest selling point when you talk about Todd Monken to Cleveland as the ultimate hire.
Chris, the pros are made to make us feel good, right? I want when my favorite team hires the new head coach, I want the butterflies. I want to feel like this is it. It's going to work. But certainly there are the cons, and I've seen. Now, I want to preface this as well, Chris. Look, for you and I, we're paid to be the pros. We're paid to be level-headed about this. Fans, that word fanatic itself, they are built to complain. Look, and in my favorite team where I went to college, who I root for, I complain all the time. So I understand that the comments under the graphic don't make a lot of sense and they aren't all rosy. But if you're looking at this from the objective point of view or from the point of view of a journalist, what are the cons to hiring Monken into this position?
He's not the wow, we're going to run out and buy season tickets. He's not the guy.
Yeah.
I get the it's meh, kind of a meh hire. It's like, okay, you know, especially with this specific search, it started with a groundswell for people to retain Jim Schwartz as defensive coordinator.
Yeah.
Understandably, because of the success he's had. And then you always were going to develop this second track that happens in every coaching search in this league because the young, up-and-coming offensive guy that I'd never heard of 2 days before his name appeared in this search, and that, Grant Udinski, Nate Shieldhouse, those names became hot commodities amongst the Browns fans as they talked about this search. So you just had Todd Monken, who was the first external candidate we knew of in the search. That doesn't make him he just kind of gets lost in the wash.
Yeah.
Because he's been around, and so I think that's more than anything, that's the biggest negative to it because cons, I mean, like I say, if you're looking for an offensive guy who's worked great with quarterbacks, does he have head coaching experience? No, except for Southern Miss, like a decade ago. But so, I mean, that's where the arguments against him are. But none of those, I mean, a lot of those, it's perception. But in perception becomes reality, especially in pro sports and in coaching hires.
So, and what I love about that, Chris, Deion Sanders, and he was never, a candidate for this job, but I've always made the case, anywhere he's hired, people will buy season tickets. Jersey sales will fly off the shelves. The GDP of that town is going to change overnight because of the name Deion Sanders. But for that pro of a guy like Deion, you get the con of he hasn't had decades of experience as an NFL coach, decades of experience developing quarterbacks or coaching Lamar Jackson. And I would rather have the guy who has the decades of resume as a coach in the National Football League than the guy who sells jerseys day one, the guy who sells tickets day one. And that's what Monken brings to Cleveland. But you've already mentioned this name a couple of times, and I want to get here quickly. Jim Schwartz being out of the organization, and it looks like that's what's coming to fruition right now, he thought, it seems, he'd be the head coach. And fans thought, man, Jim Schwartz is a guy we should probably hold on to as a pillar of the Cleveland Browns. With him being out the door, does it still make the Monken move worth it?
Well, let's see who he replaces. And I'm not 100% convinced Jim Schwartz is out the door.
Wow.
One, he's under contract for 2026.
Yeah.
And, maybe cooler. I mean, so there's that hurdle that everybody has to get over. And then there's also I think Todd and Jim will eventually sit down and talk. Now, if Jim decides to leave, that's absolutely his right, and I understand that completely. But, if then you let Todd go. I mean, he comes from an organization that's known for defense in Baltimore.
Yeah.
I'm sure over those years he's developed, before that he was at Georgia, which defense, I mean, he practically stockpiled the Philadelphia Eagles Super Bowl defense a couple of years ago. Then you let Todd go out and find somebody to replace him. I mean, I'm not minimizing Jim Schwartz. I don't want that to sound like that, but you have Myles Garrett, Denzel Ward, Carson Swessing, great help. You go down the list of talent on that side of the football. I know they're mad. I know, I saw Myles cryptically post something on Instagram last night.
Yeah.
You go out and you find somebody who can come in, and maybe he's not Jim Schwartz, but by God, take this talent and build off of it because you have the foundations of what has been an elite defense the last 3 years.
Chris Easterling joins the Drake Toll Show here on Westwood One Sports. The Westwood One Sports app covers the Cleveland Browns for the Akron Beacon Journal. And Chris, I said it yesterday. A buddy of mine, Coach Gary Patterson's been hired as the defensive coordinator at USC, and he's hiring, the DB's coach. He's hiring the defensive line coach. He's bringing those guys on staff. And every time USC posts the graphic of the coach that fans have never heard of in their lives, they're all responding. Great hire. Love the hire. Gary Patterson hires Brian Davis as his defensive backs coach. And, Jimmy 306 says, love the hire. Really wanted BD as our coach. when it comes to building a staff in the National Football League, fans don't really know what to expect. Is there any way to know what we will get from Todd Monken and how he'll craft this, and any metrics for success before the season starts in falling in love with the names he brings aboard?
I think you already saw it. I mean, we're going to talk on the offensive side. George Warhop was his first hire.
Yep.
I mean, we know that George Warhop's going to be his offensive line coach. And when you think about what they also need to fix in Cleveland is their offensive line, I think that tells you that, look, he's going to bring smart, good football coaches in. Now, I think what's running with this is, can we talk about the roster? I mean,
yeah.
I think that's also what's playing a part into it is, look, he can bring up the ghost of Paul Brown.
Yep.
Put him on staff. And if your roster's not good enough, I mean, they can only do so much. So I think that's where Andrew Berry, for whoever he hires, this is where it now spins around back to Andrew Berry, the general manager. Okay, you hired this guy. He's not winning your fan base over right now. He's not going to win the press conference. But you have to give him the tools to win football games on Sunday, because that's ultimately how we judge all of this. So what can Andrew Berry do to kind of bolster this hire by going out and having an offseason sort of like he did last year where, they got guys like Carson Schlesinger and Harold Fannin and Quinshon Judkins. So I think that's every bit as important as who Todd Monken hires on his staff. What Andrew Berry does in the draft and free agency and trades is every bit as important as that.
Well, Chris Easterling, before we get you out of here, I mean, you, as an insider, somebody in the fold with the Cleveland Browns and in that state as we speak, give me the pulse. I want to revisit this in a year, in 6 months with you. Give me the pulse today of Cleveland Browns fans, how they feel about this hire and the emotion of Ohio as it sits on January 29th.
I think frustrated. They see it as typical Browns. The Browns are going to Browns. Promise one thing, deliver something completely not what it is. But we'll see in a year. Like I say, a year, Todd Monken's going to have a season to have proven, hey, look, what you thought of me, the underwhelming disappointment. Disappointment's probably the best word to describe it. You felt at the time I was hired. What do you think now? And I think that's that's I mean, but that falls on Todd Monken. That's on Todd Monken, Andrew Berry, and the organization to change perception.
Chris, incredibly grateful for you being up early, giving us your time and the inside info on the Cleveland Browns, how fans feel and where the organization is going with Monken moving forward. Super appreciative of you. Thank you for joining the Drake Toll Show.
Hey, thanks for having me on.
You can find him at C. Easterling, ABJ, on social media. C. Easterling, ABJ, Cleveland Browns for the Akron Beacon Journal. Thanks again, Chris Easterling. Yeah, man. Like the Lamar's right there. It's hard to say that Monken made, until we hear Lamar say it, it's hard to say that Monken made a massive impact on the game of Lamar Jackson because he was still MVP caliber prior to Monken. But the years that he was in the fold with Lamar, that Lamar Jackson was right there in the middle of winning an MVP and arguably going back-to-back, it's hard to push back, really hard to push back on Monken being a guy who's stagnant offensively. It's hard to push back on Monken being the right option and call him someone who's stagnant offensively. It's hard to push back on him on that side of the ball. But it's still not the sexy hire. He hasn't been a head coach. It's not. I mean, you like Schwartz because he'd been there and the defense was good and the players wanted him. And Monken hasn't been the head coach really anywhere. Nowhere in the National Football League, and not for 10 years since he was the head coach at Southern Miss. And it was good, but the Cleveland Browns are a little bit different than Southern Miss. couple national championships at Georgia, segued into MVP for Lamar, but does it equate to great NFL coach? Playoff contending NFL coach for the Grand Valley State kid? I don't know about that. We'll continue to judge it. From Grand Valley State grad assistant to head coach of the Cleveland Browns, Todd Monken. Plenty more on that as we wrap up the show and get into tomorrow. And as we play, that's right, Are You Smarter Than Drake Toll? It's coming up right here, Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app. This is the Drake Toll Show.
She just caught the Jamestown ferry. It's not a hot day, January, like she said it'd be if she ever left me. A case of gone was all she carried as she got on the Jamestown ferry. And she said that gone was all she'd ever be. I didn't think that she'd leave me after saying how much she need me, but the fact still remains. I'm sitting there all alone, missing the loving of my baby. Lord, it's about to drive me crazy. She was the sweetest piece of ever I've ever known. She just caught the Jamestown ferry. It's not a hot day, January, like she said it'd be if she ever left me. A case of gone was all she carried as she got on the Jamestown ferry. And she said that gone was all she'd ever be. As I walk through that valley of honky-tonks and bars, I remember how she'd hold me, comfort me with thought. She didn't cuss with every breath. She had a soothing southern drawl, made me feel like a man through it all. She just caught the Jamestown ferry. It's not a hot day, January, like she said it'd be if she ever left me.
Oh, yeah.
That's Curtis. That's me.
10.
I got a sweet little body and she's rolling in the caddy with me.
Come on. They said we couldn't do it. They said you and I, we couldn't do it. They said there's no way some 24-year-old guy can have an electric shed and then eventually turn 25 and continue hosting the Drake Toll Show, Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app. Remember 2008, when the game would come on with Kevin Harlan, and then you'd hear the guy, this is Westwood One. Like, wow. Yeah, it is. It's the Super Bowl. What's crazy is you'll be able to hear, like, I'm going to come into work on a Monday after the Super Bowl, after New England wins the Super Bowl, after Seattle finds a way with Sam Darnold at quarterback to capture the Super Bowl. I'm going to walk into work and listen to Westwood One Sports radio highlights of that game on this show. That's cool, man. It's different. It's different. It's a name you know. It's a name you trust, a name you respect. And they trusted me to do this, to talk to you every day. They did. They did. And you know what? I'm having fun. And if you're not having fun, I don't know how to help you. Because that's what this is predicated on. You and I showing up every day to just have fun. Because I get it, man. Look, the world sucks in a lot of ways. The sign of the times. Unprecedented times. But for 3 hours, we can just sit down and do some sports. And then, as soon as I'm done, you get to the fastest show, greatest show, best show in all of sports. You better, you bet. With Nick Costos. Return of the Mac today. Costos is on vacation. Then Bleck and Abdallah. Love. Curtis, have you gotten to listen to any of this Bleck and Abdallah stuff that's been going on? That's been spreading around?
No, it sounds painful. Just kidding. No, I worked on their show actually our first week, so they're very fun. But I know they changed their cast after the second week or so. So I haven't been listening recently.
Yeah, well, they fired the Abdallah guy, so that was part one of changing the cast.
Like the Browns?
Yes. No. Bleck and Abdallah are still kicking it. Great addition to the network. And then, when they get off the air, Jim Rome comes on. I know him. I've heard of him. It's Jim Rome. The Jim Rome.
Why would I be talking about Baylor?
The Jim Rome Show. Staple. Legendary. Long term. You know who's not going to be a staple? Todd Monken. Unless he's not just a placeholder. You ever heard of Pope John the 23rd? That's XXIII. Angelo Roncalli. He was the placeholder. The Vatican. They needed a new pope. And the Cardinals, 1958, were deadlocked. 19-year reign of Pope Pius XII. Catholic Church, crossroads. I learned about this in the history of anti-Catholicism in college at Baylor. College of Cardinals had two factions at the time. There were the arch-conservative Cardinal Siri. Continued the strict, top-down, fortress-like mentality of the previous Pope Pius. Then, Cardinal Lacaro wanted to modernize the church as a reformer, focus on social justice, local languages in mass. And since neither sides could get to a two-thirds majority, they needed a safe third option. An old guy who would, die soon. So they found their old guy, Roncalli. 77 years old, He was considered ancient for the time. The Cardinals called him a transitional pope. Transitional. They're just waiting for him to die. The goal was for him to hold the keys for 3 years. Get out of life, permanently. And give the Cardinals time to find their real leader. But you know what happened? The jolly, funny, peasant priest, as they called him, the guy who went against the bureaucracy, he lived. He was simple. So simple they couldn't control him. He joked his name and other frontrunners went up and down like chickpeas in boiling water. He knew he was only considered because the important people couldn't agree. So when he was elected to maintain the status quo, he was told explicitly, sit still, look holy, and don't touch any buttons, Pope. Touch yourself. They didn't want structural changes to the church. And you know what he did? He effing failed them in the coolest way possible. Within 3 months of his election, he committed the ultimate act of betrayal. He called the Ecumenical Council, Vatican II. Bang! 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 That's so dope, dog. That's so awesome. They hired Todd Monken to fail. Sit there, look pretty, be the head coach of the Browns. They hired the Pope to die. And he called an ecumenical council. He called a whole ass council. The Cardinals asked why he would ever need a council. He famously said, I want to throw open the windows of the church so they can see. So they can see out and people can see in. Instead of waiting to die, he brought the biggest reform in 400 years. He even went to hospitals, orphanages, and prisons, telling prisoners, since you can't come to see me, I came to see you. And immediately increased the number of cardinals, appointed the first ever cardinals from the Philippines, Japan, and Africa, ensuring the old guard would never have control again. They doubted John the 23rd. They doubted the Pope. They elected him to die. And what did he do? Not only did he live, he reformed. They doubted Todd Monken. They elected Todd Monken to die. What will he do? He'll call reform to Cleveland, revive the Browns, and make you remember why you love in the first place. It's Thursday. Time for Are You Smarter Than Drake Toll, Curtis Poindexter? That is the question. Addie Bates hosts. Addie, take it away.
Curtis, are you ready?
No.
Nice.
All right, Curtis, what is our first category?
Science.
Science!
Ooh, y'all are usually awful at this. Who was the first American woman in space? Oh, my God.
Pocahontas.
Pocahontas from Curtis is not bad. I'm going to go Marie Curie. Final answer, Marie Curie.
Yes, she had radiation poisoning in space. Sally Ride.
Oh, it would be Sally Ride. She had the big hair. Oh, man.
It's in the Billy Joel song, We Didn't Start the Fire.
Richard Baker, Studebaker, Richard Nixon, Sally Ride, Marilyn Monroe. Yeah, you're right.
Yes. All right, Curtis, what's the next category?
History.
History!
Oh.
My favorite.
This one's very easy. What year did World War I begin?
Come on, Kurt.
I don't know.
It's not.
Just give me a year.
Yeah, give her a year, Curtis.
Let's go 1912.
Oh, it's not. It's not 1912, Curtis. The Titanic was 1912. World War I is 1913.
It's a lot closer than I thought, to be honest.
Addie, what is it? 13 or 14?
1914.
Oh!
Thank God you know all these things about the Pope.
Pope John, man. I took history and Catholicism in college. All right, we're 0 for 2.
Catholicism. All right, Curtis?
Music.
Ooh, my favorite one.
Music.
I gave you a big hint because I was singing this song during the break. Bobby Brown, known for his songs like Every Little Step, that's what I was singing in my prerogative, started in which 80s boy band?
Kurt?
I don't even know any 80s boy bands. Go Jackson 5.
Actually, I'll tell you why that's a funny answer. But go Drake.
Boys to Men.
Whoa! They also have some ties to Boys to Men.
Okay, who is it?
But it was the New Edition. The New Edition was named New Edition because they were going to be the New Edition. The Jackson 5.
Oh.
So Curtis, I'm going to give you a point for that, actually. I'll give you half a point.
It's like a pity point, though.
What's their
Yeah, it
Boys to
is.
Men connection?
That's okay. Boys to Men. Like they did, they kind of worked together, like,
they collabed.
helping with kind of producing.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
cool. Nice. All right, next category.
Movies.
Movies!
Ooh. Who is the villain in Peter Pan?
Kurt?
Captain Hook.
I'm also going to say Captain Hook, but I get a bonus point for saying Shmee.
Is that what they called you in high school?
Shmee or Captain Hook? A little bit of both.
Captain Hook.
Shmee's his little assistant. All right, last category.
Random.
The Triple Crown Award is given to a horse that wins which 3 races?
Kurt?
Fight Club, and Fight Club.
The Preakness, the Belmont Stakes, and the Kentucky Derby. Curtis is once again not as smart as Drake Toll.
Congratulations, Drake Toll.
Thanks. I needed to hear
Curtis,
that.
keep up the good work.
Needed to hear that.
We
All
keeping
right.
a buck right now. We ass.
I'm gonna go to work with the Savannah Bananas organization. Addie Bates produces in Washington, D.C. Curtis Poindexter lives in Santa Monica. Armin Williams, Colin Jones, Bruce Gilbert. Those are names. Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app. See you tomorrow, 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. Coming up, you better you bet. This has been the Drake Toll Show.
This is Westwood One's